Good morning, earth-bending students! Welcome to the channel without a handle. My name is Ray. I'm your host. As you can see, I'm a massive Avatar The Last Airbender fan, and on this channel, I unbox and review each and every merchandise I own. So if these are the types of videos that you'd be interested in, please don't forget to hit on that subscribe button down below. Welcome to episode number 3. Avatar The Last Airbender Avatar Spirit Aang Air Series by Mattel. We have here in front of us the UK and the US version, and I have summarized the details for anybody interested. Please pause to read. And here's a snap of the cutout card at the back, which reads, Avatar Spirit Aang. The Avatar Spirit is triggered when Aang is in an extreme physical or emotional state. Calling on all the past avatars, Aang's eyes and tattoos glow blue, and his bending powers increase dramatically? Wait a minute! We all know that the Avatar Spirit is not the same as the Avatar state, and that when Aang glows in the show, it means that he is in or about to go into the Avatar state. Why does his eyes and tattoos appear to be glowing here? Does he need to glow it up in order to cross over to the spirit state? I'm sorry. Let's go off of tangent for a wee bit, shall we? I need to understand the Avatar Spirit before I can properly review this action figure. And I have come up with 6 vital questions to tackle in order to do just exactly that. Does he need to glow it up before he can cross over to his spirit form on purpose? During meditation, Aang fixates on the koi fish. His eyes and tattoos begin to glow, and shortly after, he crosses into the spirit mode. Again during meditation, Aang's eyes and tattoos glow before he meets Roku in the spirit world. Roku said enough.
The Avatar state is a defense mechanism designed to empower you with the skills and knowledge of all the past avatars. The glow is the combination of all your past lives, focusing their energy through your body.
Yes, he has to glow it up while meditating before he would cross over on purpose to his spirit state. The glow means he uses the Avatar state. Does he need to be blue while he is in the spirit state? May it be while in the physical world or in the spirit world? Aang crossed over to the spirit world through the Spirit Oasis portal to find Ko. He wasn't blue in the spirit world. With the help of Feibai, he returned to the physical world through the same portal. When he crossed over though, his body wasn't there where he left it and he was in the blue spirit form. Aang intentionally holds Roku's hand while in spirit state and he wasn't blue in the spirit world. However, he turned blue when they traveled to Roku's past, their shared past. When Aang didn't know how to control the Avatar state, Roku seized Aang. Aang was caught unaware and Aang was in blue spirit form. Aang wanted to pull Sokka away from Heibai. He didn't intend to go into his spirit state, but he did, and he was blue. Whenever Aang crosses over to the spirit state involuntarily or unintentionally, regardless of time and whichever world he is in, expect him to be blue. Otherwise, he can cross over with purpose from either world regardless of time and not be blue, provided that he knows where his body is. When he crosses over to the spirit world or goes into spirit state, does that mean he leaves his body behind? While Aang was in the spirit world in search of Ko, his body was left behind. Unfortunately, Zuko captured his body, although unconscious, and appears to be in the Avatar state. The glow was the same when Aang was trapped inside the iceberg for 100 years. The Avatar state kept him alive, although not fully conscious. Yes, he lives his human body as a separate entity from his spirit state. What is the state of his physical body while he is presently conscious in his spirit state? When Aang returned to his body, it was glowing. Therefore, we can assume it was in the Avatar state, but completely unconscious up until he returned to the physical world. When Aang returned to his body, it was still in the Avatar state, exactly how it was before he was seized by Roku. Notice that his physical body seemed to be on autopilot, not conscious at all, not until after his spirit returned to his body. Fang helped Aang return to his physical body after traveling from Roku's island. Notice how Aang is simply sitting on top of Heibai's statue, not glowing at all. He seemed to be meditating. Was he conscious? Seems like he wasn't. Here, we find Aang's physical body not glowing, not showing any signs of the avatar state. He seems not to be fully aware though, as he let out gas in front of his friends. I doubt he'd do that if he were fully conscious. I think Aang's physical body will not be fully conscious. Perhaps his consciousness joins his spirit whenever they are in the spirit state. His physical body will be in the avatar state while he is in the spirit state only if the physical body is in danger. If the physical body is left without any potential harm to it, it would not necessarily be in the avatar state the whole time. Does he need to glow while in human form in order to interact with spirits? If a spirit can talk, it's like a regular conversation. No glowing needed. Even Sokka can talk to the all-knowing Spirit Owl.
Yeah, I'll vouch. We will not abuse the knowledge in your library, good spirit. You have my word.
Very well.
But Aang interacts with Heibai by touch, and making sure that when and which part of the two bodies come in contact, that part of the body glows. This is the way to interact with spirits, great spirits that do not talk. Some spirits do not have the ability to communicate verbally. A great example here is Heibai. The avatar would therefore need to kind of translate for spirits. Aang touches Heibai on the forehead and glows up to understand him. Does he need to glow while in spirit form in order to interact with spirits? Aang can interact with spirits who can talk. Here we have him trying to strike a conversation with a baboon spirit while intentionally being in the spirit world. He doesn't need to glow here.
Go away.
Surely enough, while still in the spirit world, Aang tried to chase another spirit that wasn't capable of talking. It was glowing. Maybe it works both ways. One being has to be glowing in order for the other to interact. Enough said.
You don't know where Socket is, do you?
Here we have Aang who crossed over unintentionally to his spirit form. Therefore he was blue. He found himself interacting with Fang, a spirit who didn't have the ability to speak. Aang therefore had to glow it up in order to understand him. If he were in the spirit state, all blue because of how he got there, time travel, unintentional, whatever the circumstance, regardless of the realm, and he needed to interact with a spirit who couldn't talk, Aang would need to glow. Okay, so glowing means the avatar state. And he glows before he intentionally leaves his human body and crosses over to his natural colored spirit state. However, when he unintentionally and involuntarily crosses over, his human self doesn't glow and he crosses over in his blue spirit state. He is also blue when his spirit time travels or if he can't find his body. He crosses over and leaves his human body behind, partly or mostly unconscious. While fully conscious in his spirit state, the human body will be in the avatar state only if it is in danger or potentially at risk. I call it the avatar autopilot state. Finally, regardless of worlds, he needs to glow it up when trying to communicate with spirits who can't speak. He can glow just his eyes or include his tattoos or the part of the body that gets in contact with the no words spirit. Which means, on the extremely rare occasion that Aang is unintentionally in his spirit state and he finds himself needing to interact with a spirit who can't speak, he has to glow it up. I rest my case. On one episode, less than 10 seconds, we have Aang in the exact representation of this toy. I'm sure that eventually Aang mastered the spirit state and didn't even need to worry about crossing over involuntarily. But I digressed a lot from the original point. Let's unbox this. I've said it before, the rectangular bubble carded packaging means it's from the Air series. Everything for the unboxing is copy-pasted from the previous episode, so let's speed this up a bit. Taking a closer look here, we have his head with a bluish pigment. The arrow is embossed, not painted. Eyes, like the arrow on his head, is made of translucent material, which I like a lot. It makes it seem like he is really in a non-human state. The one eyebrow slightly raised, plus that smirk that adds the right tone to his badass look. The head is definitely the same head from the previous two Aangs I have reviewed. Go ahead and check those two previous episodes on my channel. I'd like the head to be a bit rounder if I'm being honest. This material is separate from the body. It's exactly the same as the airbending Aang, just a different color. I would very much rather to have the paint of his arrow on his head to be the same as the paint of the arrows at the back of his hand. I would also rather the clothing to be one single piece that covers his shoulders too, like in the show. And yeah, I would very much like to be able to swap the heads with one that had non-glowy eyes for accuracy. The arrow is only until his neck, which is easily visible if we pull down the rubber clothing. Spirit boots are alright. It's colored perfectly and is made of the same hard plastic that we've come to bear with since episode 1. The head moves not just left to right but also can do a 360 degrees turn. It's not a ball joint. Don't expect anything else. The shoulders on a pivot hinge. Elbow is also a single hinge joint that is perfect for a right angle. His upper arm hides a pivot joint under the sleeve that allows a 360 degree rotation, pretty much the same as the previous figures. He can do an ab crunch forwards and backwards and has tornado hips. And thanks to a hinge joint on a pivot, his legs can do the most movement. Knees on double hinge joints, lower leg on a pivot, so his feet can face the back as we've never seen on the show. Feet on a hinge and no toe articulation. Then comes the accessories. Firstly, the spirit staff. Although it's just a piece of plastic, it is the most accurate add-on for this action figure. It should be easily switchable to Aang's glider, but we gave a ranting about that in episode 1 already. It's obviously from the same mold as the brown physical world version staff, but why does it have this effect? I ask because we all know that Aang can't bend in the spirit world.
I can't airbend in the spirit world.
Not unless he traversed through a spirit portal. It looks good, yeah, but just not worthy of love, that one. It's easy to equip. Either slide it in his close-ish, fist-ish hand, or snap it in through the fingers. Air blasts are equipped by pushing his almost knuckled fist-ish hands into the hole. Yep. Airwaves are equipped similarly on either hands. Aang stands at 5.2 inches or 13 centimeters. And quickly, for anyone interested, he still can be found available online from EvoBay. I will let these snaps speak for themselves. And there we have it. Blue Spirit State in the Avatar State Aang. If I was to rate it all after all the time I've spent to research, I would let the gang give it a... And for the guys and girls at Geek Gear Exclusives, you deserve my seal of approval for a job well done. You have represented Spirit State Aang better than Mattel. Aang's body was encased in ice for a century. We know that he was knocked out during the storm, entered the Avatar state unintentionally. His unconscious body was in the Avatar autopilot state as a defense mechanism. Katara broke the ice. Aang walked out unfrozen but briefly blue and glowing before regaining his consciousness. If we assume that his consciousness was with his spirit state while his body was in the blue spirit Avatar autopilot state in the human world, where was his conscious spirit self during the 100 years? Assuming he was in the spirit world, what was keeping him distracted from returning to his body? Since he was with Appa, could it be possible he was interacting with Appa's spirit? A spirit who couldn't talk? Could he have been in a parallel Avatar verse and he woke up to forget about it? Did the avatars before him intentionally keep him in the woods to protect him? Is the avatar state not only a defense mechanism for the human form, but also for the spirit form? I find it impossible, if my observations were true, that his spirit wasn't active or aware somehow. What are your thoughts? Let me know in the comments below.